Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The NFL world is buzzing and Washington might just be cooking something serious. There's a loud whisper coming out of DC that's beginning to sound more like a roar. Devin Lloyd is being hailed as the new commander of the front seven. Yeah, you heard that right. After weeks of speculation and quiet movements behind the scenes, multiple sources close to the organization are hinting at something big. Devin Lloyd isn't just another piece, he might be the piece the Washington Commanders desperate to reshape. Their defense and reclaim that dominant reputation from years past seem to have found their man. And let's be honest, anyone who's followed Lloyd since his Utah days knew it was only a matter of time before a team gave him the keys. Now, with this potential shift in power, Washington fans have every reason to celebrate. Could this mean a new defensive identity? Possibly. A new locker room leader? Very likely. A playoff push in the making? That's where things get spicy. What's certain is that Devin Lloyd is stepping into a spotlight he was born for. And if this rumor turns out true, the Commanders may have pulled off the smartest move of the offseason. Let's rewind a bit and talk about why Devin Lloyd might be the perfect fit for Washington's evolving defense. He's fast, instinctive, and plays with the kind of fire you can't teach. In Jacksonville, Lloyd showed flashes of brilliance, but something always seemed a bit off. Maybe it was the scheme, maybe the chemistry, or maybe he just needed a new environment to thrive. Now imagine plugging that raw talent into a system designed to unleash chaos. That's what Washington might be thinking. The Commanders' front seven hasn't been the same since the peak days of Ryan Kerrigan and that bruising 2020 defense. Adding Lloyd to a group already filled with potential stars like Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne could be the perfect storm. The buzz is that Lloyd won't just play linebacker. He'll be the central brain of the defense, calling plays, reading offenses, and becoming the enforcer Washington's been missing. Coaches reportedly love his film study habits and leadership traits. If the plan is to build a defense that's both fast and furious, Lloyd might be the centerpiece. And if this deal becomes official, it signals that the Commanders are finally ready to stop rebuilding and start attacking. Now let's not pretend this rumor came out of nowhere. The whispers began just after the Commanders' front office made some low-key moves in free agency suggesting a defensive shift was coming. Then came the cryptic tweets, the odd social media likes, and the fact that Lloyd himself seemed unusually quiet during OTAs. For NFL insiders, those aren't coincidences. They're smoke signals. Some say it was Lloyd's agent who first floated the idea of a trade or scheme change, while others believe Washington initiated the conversation. Either way, there's one constant mutual interest. Washington is looking for that quarterback of. The defense in Lloyd's camp knows he has more to give than what we saw in Jacksonville. Sources say Lloyd's ability to read the backfield and anticipate plays is something that Commanders DC Joe Witt Jr. is obsessed with. He reportedly spent hours reviewing Lloyd's game tape from his rookie season. What's even more compelling is that Lloyd could be used as a hybrid, part linebacker, part edge rusher. That kind of flexibility is gold in today's NFL. If true, this isn't just about filling a spot. It's about creating a whole new defensive era. The Commanders might finally be serious. There's also a growing belief inside the locker room that Lloyd's arrival would change everything about the culture. He's not loud, he's not flashy, but he commands respect. Think about that word, commander. Fitting right. It's not just a team name. It's an identity, a vibe, a standard. And Lloyd seems to fit it like a glove. According to reports, veterans on the team have already reached out to him. That's not normal unless something's in motion. Guys like Allen and Jamin Davis reportedly see him as a glue guy, someone who can unite the defense and be that sideline general you need when things get tight in the fourth quarter. This locker room, after seasons of uncertainty, coaching changes, and inconsistent play, is hungry for leadership. Lloyd brings accountability. He's the guy who watches extra tape, who's always in the weight room, who checks on teammates. That kind of influence spreads. One player already told a reporter anonymously, if he comes here, the defense changes overnight. That's a strong statement, and it might just be the clearest signal yet that Lloyd isn't just another acquisition. He's potentially the tone setter for a defense ready to reintroduce itself to the NFL in a major way. And while fans are right to be excited, there's another layer to this move that's purely strategic. Think about who's in the NFC East right now. You've got Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Daniel Jones, all mobile quarterbacks who force defenses to stay honest. You can't beat them with just pass rush. You need a linebacker who can cover tight ends, chase down scrambling QBs, and shoot gaps when needed. Enter Devin Lloyd. His sideline to sideline speed is what separates him. His coverage skills underrated. And his timing on blitz is nasty. The Commanders know that the path to the playoffs goes straight through divisional dominance. Beating Philly, Dallas, and New York starts with stopping their quarterbacks, and Lloyd could be the guy who wrecks those game plans. There's even speculation that Washington could pair Lloyd with a young aggressive safety to create that classic linebacker safety tandem that made the Legion of Boom so terrifying. If this happens, it's chess, not checkers. The coaching staff might finally have the freedom to run exotic looks, disguise coverages, and unleash a pressure package that keeps offenses guessing. One insider even said, you'll see a completely different defense by week 1. Fans should buckle up. Now let's talk value. Because acquiring a guy like Lloyd doesn't come cheap, even if it's not a blockbuster. People forget he was a first-round pick for a reason. He brings elite college production, high football IQ, and a frame built for contact. Rumor has it Washington is willing to give up mid-round draft capital and a rotational player to land him. That's aggressive, but not reckless. It shows they're done waiting. The new ownership wants wins. They want to prove to the fan base that this isn't the same old Commanders team. They're building something, and Lloyd could be the foundation. Analysts are already debating what this trade, if finalized, would mean for the salary cap and future. Contracts. Lloyd is still on a rookie deal, which makes him a steal if he produces. That leaves cap room for other extensions, especially on the offensive side. And don't be surprised if this move triggers a domino effect, with other linebackers or edge rushers being shuffled to make room for Lloyd. It's not just about talent, it's about message. Washington is signaling they're ready to compete now, and Devin Lloyd might be the statement signing that turns that message into reality. But of course, not everyone's convinced yet. Some critics believe Lloyd still has a lot to prove. They point to his sophomore slump, his inconsistent play recognition, and occasional missed assignments. That's fair, but context matters. Jacksonville's defense wasn't exactly stable. There were coaching changes, new schemes, and fluctuating roles. Lloyd never really had a shot to settle in. Washington, on the other hand, is building continuity under Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. The belief is that structure and consistency will unlock the best version of Lloyd. A few doubters have asked why now, why not wait for the draft? But here's the thing. You don't wait when the right fit is staring you in the face. Lloyd's ceiling is still sky high, and sometimes a change of scenery is all it takes. Look at Roquan Smith's career resurgence in Baltimore, or Shaq Leonard's early dominance in Indy. The league is full of linebackers who exploded when given the right system. Lloyd could be next. So while the move hasn't been confirmed yet, the noise is growing. And where there's smoke, there's usually fire, especially in the NFL rumor mill. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. One intriguing aspect that's getting less attention is how Lloyd could impact the locker room off the field. This is a team in transition. New ownership, new coaching, and a culture reset that's long overdue. Lloyd has never been involved in off-field controversies. He's known as a film junkie and a leader in community outreach. Bringing in that kind of presence can stabilize a young, impressionable roster. Think about the ripple effects, rookies learning how to prepare veterans, finding renewed motivation, coaches trusting their leader on the field. That's intangible but powerful. And with Washington trying to rebuild its image after years of dysfunction, Lloyd becomes more than a linebacker. He becomes a brand ambassador. Word is several staffers have already prepared pitch materials to showcase how Lloyd fits the new era vision. That doesn't happen unless talks are deep. Plus, with Lloyd's calm demeanor and disciplined approach, he could become the guy media turns to after every game. Every franchise needs that voice of reason in a storm, and Lloyd might be ready to wear that mantle. If this rumor turns true, Washington isn't just getting a football player, they're getting a professional. A future captain in every sense of the word. And what about the fans? Oh, the fans are absolutely electric right now. Social media has exploded with mock-ups of Lloyd in the Commanders' new uniforms, fan-made hype videos, and even jersey pre-orders. Based on pure speculation, that's what happens when a fan base finally feels hope again. The Commanders have been stuck in mediocrity for too long. They've had glimpses of greatness, a hot start here, a defensive stretch there, but never sustained success. Lloyd represents a turning point. If he signs, expect FedEx Field to get louder. Expect a surge in season ticket sales. And most importantly, expect belief. Washington has always been a city that rallies behind strong defensive teams. From the days of the Hogs and the Smurfs to the Taylor and Arrington era, they've craved a unit that hits hard and talks louder. Lloyd's arrival could be the moment that brings fans back in full force. Already fan podcasts and YouTubers are dedicating entire segments to his fit and impact. That's not nothing. That's momentum. And in this league, sometimes energy from the crowd is the edge you need. Lloyd might be bringing that edge, and fans are already dreaming of a playoff run because of it. Even Vegas is starting to take notice. There are whispers that betting lines are shifting subtly, and insiders believe odds makers are factoring in the potential addition of Lloyd. Defensive Player of the Year futures, defensive rankings, projections, playoff odds. They're all moving. Quietly but noticeably. That's how impactful this rumored acquisition could be. Lloyd may not be a household name yet, but analysts know what he brings. His speed and versatility can swing games, especially in close matchups. With Washington set to face a tough schedule, they need every advantage they can get. Devin Lloyd might be that X factor. Vegas never moves numbers without reason. And when sportsbooks start hedging against a defensive player, it's usually because insiders have given them a nod. Could this be the case? Possibly. It might just be the clearest signal yet that this deal is closer than anyone thought. And if Vegas believes it's real, maybe we should too. The Commanders aren't just trying to compete, they're trying to flip the script. And with Devin Lloyd as the centerpiece, they just might do it. One move, one linebacker, one new era. The NFL better pay attention. Something big is brewing in Washington. So where does this leave us? It leaves us on the edge of our seats, waiting for confirmation, watching every reporter's feed and refreshing Twitter like mad. It leaves Commanders Nation buzzing, hopeful, and ready to welcome a new hero. And it leaves the rest of the NFL with one thought: Washington might be for real this time. The front seven hasn't had this much intrigue in years, and Lloyd's rumored arrival could be the ignition switch. He brings power, speed, leadership, and most importantly, purpose. He's the kind of player who reshapes a defense and defines an identity. Whether it's true or not, the rumor has already shifted energy. That tells you everything. If Washington pulls this off, they might become the dark horse nobody saw coming. And if they don't, well, just the idea of adding someone like Devin Lloyd shows how serious this front office is about building a winner. Either way, the conversation has changed. The tone has shifted, and Washington has entered a new phase. Call it a rumor, call it a whisper, but don't ignore it. Because if Devin Lloyd really is the new commander of the front seven, the league better watch out. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.